Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Sport and Sportskeeda, and today we are looking at the 5 talking points from the Australian Grand Prix. While it was the opening race in the good old sunset of Melbourne at Albert Park, it was a beautiful setting to start off the 2019 Formula 1 season, and wow, the sun was certainly shining on Valtteri Bottas of Mercedes. What a statement that man made back on Sunday by winning the race by more than 20 seconds from last year's world champion and teammate Lewis Hamilton. It was, to be honest, I wasn't expecting it to look that easy for the Flying Finn, but wow, he just absolutely nailed it. The moment the race started, he took over from Lewis Hamilton at the front. Before the first turn, he led the race, and pretty much from then on, there was a couple of pit stops here and there, but that was it. He absolutely nailed it, and for that reason, Valtteri Bottas has had his first race win in about just over 460 odd days, because his last win was in Abu Dhabi, which was the last race of the 2017 calendar. 2018 was a year to forget for him, and it's quite incredible how the guys come back from the winter break refreshed, a different Valtteri Bottas, and what an animal he showed on Sunday. But anyway, the first topic we're going to really talk about is Williams. Now, what a dreadful start they have had to the season. I mean, okay, George Russell and Robert Kubica were able to finish the race. They were able to do all 58 laps, but, you know, it's a normal day at the office for them, really. They got lapped by the front runners. Robert Kubica finished last with no real racing challenge in front of him. With that pace of that car, well, what the hell can you do? And George Russell, I think the only positivity George can take is getting his first ever experience in an F1 Grand Prix and actually beating Kubica in the leaderboard. But, you know, there's no points awarded for that, and really, that's the only thing he can take from the weekend. So, I mean, let's just hope it won't be like this for the rest of the season. Otherwise, Williams are going to be having the repeat of 2018, and at this moment in time, I can't see them getting any points this season. So 10th spot in the Constructors' Championship is very much possible for Williams. At number 4, let's just talk about Raikkonen, shall we? Kimi Raikkonen qualifying in 9th on Saturday, and then on race day he went up one position and finished in 8th spot, and it was an absolute fantastic race for him. Solid performance, and that's why Alfa Romeo signed him up. And I think it still shocks a few people that he moved to Sauber. I mean, let's be honest, it's still Sauber, but it is, as we have to call it, Alfa Romeo. But, you know, he is reunited with the team, and he just absolutely nailed it, didn't he? I mean, I think realistically, how far can he go with that car come the next few races over the year? We'll find out, but you know, maybe a top 5 at some point this season if the opportunities are there for Kimi Raikkonen. But just think how vital he will be for that team. They had to say goodbye to Charles Leclerc to Ferrari. They were never going to keep him when the Italian team were after his signature. And then you look at Kimi and think, not a bad replacement in terms of getting those points that they won last year to bring it back for 2019. And it's a fantastic start for Alfa Romeo and Kimi Raikkonen. Next up at number 3, it's Red Bull's fine start with Honda. Now, let's not forget, of course, last year was the end of the 12-year relationship between Renault and Red Bull, which was let's be honest, it was a big decision for Christian Horner to make. And if you have actually watched the Netflix documentary of Formula 1, Drive to Survive, Cyril, of course, the team principal at Renault, and Christian Horner from Red Bull don't really get on. They've had a very strange relationship, and, you know, Christian Horner has pretty much said goodbye to Renault, said we're going to have a fresh start. And of course, with the Honda engines working well for Toro Rosso last year, including Pierre Gasly's high-flying performances, well, it was a no-brainer, and it was a fantastic start. Max Verstappen finishing in 3rd place ahead of the Ferraris and just behind the Silver Arrows. Can't ask for a better start, because that is Red Bull's first podium in Australia since 2013, and we all know who drove for Red Bull back that year and won the World Championship for them. Good old Sebastian Vettel. Pierre Gasly, that's the only downfall from this weekend. He finished 11th. He started the race, I believe it was 18th. Can't remember from the top of my head, but, you know, not a good start for the young Frenchman. But, you know, plenty of races to go. 20 races left on the calendar. I'm sure he'll do a lot better than Australia this year. At number 2, let's talk about Ferrari's pace. Where was it? I mean, Charles Leclerc and Sebastian Vettel, well, I was expecting a bit more of a challenge from them this weekend. Of course, in pre-season testing, which took place in Barcelona a few weeks ago, Ferrari looked to be the fastest car out of the 10 teams. And, well, I don't know what they've been watching, because Ferrari said that they were faster than every other team. I don't know what they've been watching, because they were absolutely dreadful this weekend. People could say I'm probably jumping to conclusions, but I'm sorry, but this is a track where they've won on the last 2 seasons in Australia with Vettel, and the only way they could match that was to win again with either Leclerc or Vettel. But no, it just didn't happen, did it, on Sunday? The pace, they were a minute behind Valtteri Bottas's pace once we had the clarification of the race results, and I'm thinking, that's not good enough. That's your first race. I mean, they've got to improve now. It can't get any worse, because Ferrari, in my eyes, are the only team that can compete with Mercedes. I mean, okay, it's the early days between Honda and Red Bull, but at this moment in time, I'm starting to think that maybe we're going to have a repeat of 2016, where it's between 2 Mercedes drivers, but this time we swapped Nico Rosberg for Valtteri Bottas. As I've already said pretty much a few times already in this video, it is early days, but they've got 2 weeks to sort this out, Ferrari, because Bahrain's coming up. They won there last year with Vettel as well. It might be completely different, but if they can't improve, then I'd be very worried if I was a Ferrari fan. And last but not least, last topic of this week's talking points from the Australian Grand Prix. Let's talk about Valtteri Bottas again. He is back. He is absolutely back. I'm so thrilled for him, because Valtteri Bottas is a driver I just felt really sorry for in 2018. I was wondering when that first win of the season was going to come, especially in Baku when he led, and then obviously his tyre got punctured from the debris, and then he had to make way for Lewis Hamilton to win, and let's not forget he had to make way again for the Brighton at the Russian Grand Prix, and you just couldn't see him winning a race at all last year. Esteban Ocon, I don't know if you've noticed, but he's been hanging about with Toto Wolff in the Mercedes garage over the weekend, and you can tell from his little smile during qualifying that he would like to get that seat from Bottas, but I think he was the only one in the Mercedes garage that was not celebrating Bottas's win from Sunday's race, and he really wants that seat at Mercedes. I think you're going to have to wait a little longer, because the way Bottas drove, I think he's here for the long run this year, and if he can continue these performances, who knows, he could do what Nico Rosberg did and beat Lewis Hamilton in the same team. I'm for that. If it's only going to be between 2 drivers of Bottas and Hamilton this season, then bring it on, because it was exciting 3 years ago, and it's a rivalry we can look back on, because Bottas needs to be the mean guy this year. He needs to look at Hamilton and just say, it's business, I'm here to win the World Championship, no offence, or anything like that, but we'll see. But Bottas is back. So thank you very much for watching our talking points from the Australian Grand Prix. What did you think from the race? Anything that I missed out that you'd want to mention? Then why not comment below your thoughts on the opening Grand Prix of the 2019 F1 season. Thank you for watching.